What were you most shocked to find out was a practical effect and not CGI? It's mind-blowing that all the orcs you see in the Lord of the Rings trilogy are actual actors that went through hours of exhausting makeup and prosthetics work. Just goes to show how revolutionary this movie is even after all these years. The crooked man from The Conjuring 2 was not Guy. He is a real person named Javier Botet Lopez. He has a condition called Marfan syndrome that allows him to contort his body beyond normal human limits. Edit. For a better understanding, Marfan syndrome is a genetic disorder that affects the body's connective tissue. Late to the party as always, but there's a scene in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies where a giant centipede crawls out of a girl's mouth. That was a real centipede crawling out of her mouth for real. I read somewhere that they originally wanted 3, but the actress would only agree to 1. Still, the original Jurassic Park movie. I guess that's not exactly a practical effect, but that fucking T-Rex eye is something I think about pretty often. A lot of scenes in LOTR with hobbits around big folk. I always thought it was clever CGI for the most part, not clever cinematography and doubles, though some scenes are still CGI. The weightlessness in Apollo 13. Not CGI, not even wires. They built the spacecraft sets in a reduced gravity aircraft so they could film in actual weightlessness. It's incredibly difficult to do, as each period of weightlessness only lasts for 24 seconds and is preceded and followed by a period of 2gs. Riding horses in Monty Python and the Holy Grail so realistic. Those classic Old Spice commercials with scene switches and Terry Crews. Tons of practical effects and amazing effort. The robots Tars and Case were built with a human moving them. Captain America and Black Panther outrunning the Wakandan soldiers in Infinity War. There's a scene in The Prestige where Christian Bale rolls a coin along his knuckles, it's while he's making out with his mistress GF. I remember reading an interview with Hugh Jackman where he said that Christian practiced that for hours on end until he could do it, and he was super salty about the fact that everyone just assumed it was CGI. Late to the party. But that scene in the New It when Pennywise is talking to Georgie and he zones out, then his eye goes all loopy. Like his right eye just gives up and walkies away. Bill Skarsgård can actually do that. That massively long take with the car being ambushed in Children of Men. The door to the Chamber of Secrets with the snakes circling it. Wallace and Gromit. Honestly, it's really cool how they used clay and freeze frame to such detail. The original Jurassic Park. Those were just dogs wearing makeup. Something that is CGI but you think it wouldn't be. When C-3PO is unfinished in Anakin's room in The Phantom Menace, you can see through his head and parts of his body, so it can't be a suit. It's actually a puppet that is controlled by a guy standing directly behind, and they just CGI him out of the shot. In the Silent Hill movie, the effect for the weird movement of the nurses was achieved by having the actresses walk backwards and then reversing the film, so it looked like clunky awkward forward walking. Probably not the most shocking, but one that I really loved learning how they did it was the little powder to bread thing when Rey is eating in The Force Awakens. The costume for Swamp Thing. Looked so impressive I thought it had to be CGI. Really shocked when I found out it was all practical effects. The mother robot from I Am Mother. Wait a second, no one said T2 where he is shot. The truck flip from The Dark Knight. Definitively the cornfield scene of Interstellar. The director, Nolan, just planted the field for the movie DAWMM. Good Omens series. Neil Gaiman said he wondered how they were going to do the scene where the demon Crowley, played by David Tennant, drives a flaming Bentley to the site of the apocalypse. He was surprised to learn that they were planning to do it by putting David Tennant in a Bentley, setting it on fire, and having him drive it. If you're reading this, watch American Werewolf in London. Pre-CGI movie with fantastic effects. I haven't seen this one posted yet, odd. Viggo Mortensen totally knocked a knife out of the air in LOTR. The guy playing the orc wasn't supposed to let go, but he did by accident. Buddy the Elf's size. The Doof Warrior in Fury Road. The entire rig, including the flamethrower guitar, was real. Also, they found out it was cheaper to genetically engineer Benedict Cumberbatch into a dragon than it was to make Smaug with computer effects. Getting him to turn back was difficult though. Dave Bautista, id how you spell it, makeup as Drax, I didn't realize that none of it was guy, I thought most of it was digital effect. I assumed the train in The Fugitive was a model rather than CGI. But it was actually a real train. Apparently almost no CGI in Elf. Just super clever depth tricks. Captain America holding the helicopter to the building. I forget which movie. The scene at the end of Endgame where every MCU character shows up. Not the fight, the one after that. I was sure it was done with a motion control camera because it must have taken a scheduling miracle to get many of those actors, some of the A-listers are half retired, in one place at one time. The crooked man in The Conjuring 2 is played by a Spanish actor named Javier Botet. He and actor Doug Jones are treasures for the roles that they successfully pull off and deserve more recognition for the difficulties they endure. Nobody said Emily Rose? The actress that played Emily in The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Jennifer Carpenter, saw the mannequin they were going to use for the contortion scenes and basically went, I can do that, and then did. They never shot the mannequin.